Alberta teachers say their pay isn't keeping pace with inflation or the growing duties of the job, and that their purchasing power is slipping compared to their colleagues in other provinces. One measure that both teachers and their employers look at when bargaining is how teachers in Western and Central Canada are paid. They look at the salary grids of educators in BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and Ontario. Teachers progress through the grid based on their level of post-secondary education and years of experience. The parties specifically compare pay for teachers who have 5 years of post-secondary education. Among those 5 provinces, Alberta now has one of the lowest starting salaries at a little more than $65,000. Alberta teachers at the top of the salary grid are also earning the second lowest of the 5 provinces, about $101,000 a year. The parties also look at other economic measures like the Consumer Price Index, which gauges the rising cost of paying for essentials. The ATA says other provinces have done a better job of growing teacher salaries to keep pace with inflation. While Alberta teachers' pay has risen about 3.8% since 2019, teachers in the comparator provinces have had much larger salary increases. The Alberta Teachers Association says classroom teachers are also being asked to do more work and that their pay doesn't reflect the growing demands of their jobs.
I know that government will often like to spin it that teachers are being greedy, they're asking for more money, but they actually just want to keep up with inflation and make up for lost inflation over the many years that they took zeros.
The government is offering teachers a 12% general wage increase over 4 years. Now, the offer is more complicated than that. The government says most teachers would actually get more than that 12% due to various market adjustments. But one education policy expert says that the parties need to consider more than just numbers on a paycheck.
Cost of living in particular provinces, which varies. You also have to consider inflation rates, which vary different parts of the country, and they have to consider the taxation regime in each of those provinces as well.
Hunter says they must also consider the variation in costs of living and the geographical distribution of teachers in the province. Employers will also look at the supply of teachers in Alberta and the demand for their work. Alberta's premier said Monday the most recent offer would make the province's most experienced teachers the best paid in Western Canada by 2027.
When we're looking at any requests for pay increases higher than those numbers, we are already very much competitive, but also will be the most generous for the typical teacher in Western Canada. And we do not want to sacrifice any trade-off between higher salaries and more teachers.
The ATA sent a new proposal to their employers last week. The association hasn't said what wage offer would satisfy them. It says that's best left at the bargaining table. Janet French, CBC News, Edmonton.